CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Miriam Valdez-Carletti.
Good evening. Unexpected car trouble has hit dozens of drivers in southeast Edmonton over the past few days. All of them appear to have one thing in common. They fueled up at the same gas station right before the problem started. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
It was a typical morning for Janelle Dorr. She dropped the kids off at school, then before heading to work, she stopped for gas at this Esso on Ellerslie Road.
Put some gas in and didn't even make it 10 blocks before my car started shaking and finally just stopped on the side of the road and broke down.
She had to call a tow truck to get it home.
Never had anything happen. I've had car issues, but never something so sudden and just after getting gas like that.
While waiting for the tow truck, she came across dozens of online posts from other people who experienced the same thing after getting gas at the same place. Dan Bro's wife was one of them.
Monday night, my wife fueled up, and when she came home, she said, "Oh, I just got gas and the car's running funny." And so I didn't really pay much attention, but the next morning it wouldn't start.
They had it towed to the dealership.
So far, they've found that the spark plugs are fouled, and it seems that there's water in the gas.
Around noon Wednesday, the pumps had a stop message on the screen, and a pump service company was on site.
I don't blame the owner, because the fuel probably came like that, or he had something happen that caused the fuel to go like that.
Bro is now out $3,000 for repairs. They want answers and compensation.
This is the only vehicle in the home. I'm a single mom. I'm not sure how I'm going to get to work now because my car it's not working. It won't drive forward. It won't start.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Circle K says it's aware of the situation and has initiated additional fuel checks at the site. It's encouraging customers with concerns to contact its customer service team. And the Downtown Revitalization Coalition has released a list of recommendations it hopes will help make the city's core safer. Supporters say the recovery and enforcement-based approach will attract more people downtown. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
The Helm owner, Chad Helm, says he's worked hard to make his clothing store a destination downtown. He says it would be nice if there were more businesses around him to help make it a welcoming place.
They're choosing to do it elsewhere or not do it at all, which is sad. But more is always better, right? And we would love to see that vibrancy come back.
The Downtown Revitalization Coalition has created a list of recommendations it says wouldn't cost any extra taxpayer money, with the hope of making Edmonton the safest major city in Canada.
They rely on existing programs, but making them more efficient, bringing them together.
The proposals include a coordinated approach to public safety that would connect transit and peace officers into EPS response systems. The hope is that there would be faster deployment of applicable law enforcement to a scene of public disorder. The plan would also include a 24-hour stabilization center and integrating REACH crisis diversion teams.
So that when citizens call 211, they are not put on hold, that they get an immediate response, and that there's the ability to immediately pick up these individuals that are in this situation.
City councillors say they're on the same page.
I think having spaces where people can, again, who may be posing a danger to themselves or to others, to have a place for those folks to go, which is not jail, I think that is a positive thing.
It's exciting they're doing it, but I would posit that they need to bring it to the legislature and the premier, not to the mayor. We already agree here.
We need to do a focused approach with Edmonton, and I'm looking forward to working with the mayor. He's a great guy.
The Downtown Community League wants to see the recommendations followed by all levels of government and that they move quickly.
I am not irrationally optimistic, but I do believe that we can be something so much better than what we have been.
Hopeful as the city approaches another potential playoff run that could bring more people to the core. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Health and safety leaders in our province are meeting in Edmonton to share their knowledge with each other. It's the 23rd Alberta Health and Safety Conference. Nearly 300 people will be at the Edmonton Convention Centre this week to share insights on investigations, how AI affects safety, and other general safety topics. Organizers say this is the go-to event for health and safety professionals. They say the conference is about sharing.
We develop these best practices, companies will develop best practices, and then we pass all that information down so that everybody has the same information, and that legislation, they know what the legislation is, what the changes to legislation are, and how that affects them.
The conference runs until tomorrow afternoon. More affordable housing is coming to the Dunluce neighbourhood in northwest Edmonton. That's despite efforts by the area councillor to keep the city-owned land as green space. This section of Urbalink Park was set aside decades ago as a surplus school site. At one time, it was slated to become housing under the city's First Place program, which helped people buy their first home. That program is ending, but city staff believe the Dunluce site is still suitable for below-market housing. Councillor Erin Rutherford says it should stay as park space because it's well used. She also says her ward already has more affordable housing than other parts in the city.
At some point, we have to say how much, how far, how fast, and at what cost, and is it equitable, both in terms of process and in terms of distribution.
We're in a housing crisis, and we need to be looking at opportunities for affordable housing. This is a constant part of how we're growing our city.
3 other surplus school sites are being freed up from the First Place program. One in the La Pearl neighbourhood was designated to stay as park space. However, council ordered city staff to assess whether an affordable housing project would be valuable there. The Ukrainian National Federation of Canada building in Edmonton has received a special recognition. The building on 98th Street has been deemed a municipal historic resource. In 1941, the city's Ukrainian population had grown to 6,000 people, and the UNF needed a headquarters. The building was finished in 1947 to support and protect Ukrainian culture and heritage. A heritage planner with the city of Edmonton says it's important to recognize the building as the city grows.
And that's why these sort of built, tangible recognitions can be really important, not only to those folks most directly associated with it, but, broader Edmontonians who, if you happen to go down, the street moving forward, you'll see a plaque in front of the building that identifies why it's significant, and then it's protected, and just helps educate everybody.
Edmonton has 196 other buildings designated as municipal historic resources. The Forever Canadian movement is back in front of Albertans, preparing for what it calls the next step of the separation debate. A vote on whether Alberta should remain in Canada is looking increasingly likely this fall, and those in favor of staying are ready to mobilize. CTV's Tim Brooke explains.
God, keep our land. Wednesday was the Canadian Club of Calgary's busiest day so far in 2026. Thomas Lukazik believes it's obvious why.
This will be a very hotly debated and battled campaign, probably the biggest campaign this province has ever seen, because of the fact that everything's at stake.
The former deputy premier led a citizen petition last year calling for Alberta to remain part of Canada. It collected about 439,000 valid signatures, or 13.6% of eligible voters. A few hundred took in this speech.
I worked in Montreal back in 1995 when we had the referendum for Quebec, and I could see from a business standpoint how bad it was for our clients.
Elections Alberta verified and approved the petition in December, but then things got complicated. The premier claimed its wording was unclear and handed the petition off to a committee to review. But that committee still hasn't met, putting in doubt any sort of referendum recommendation before the spring legislative session wraps.
I don't anticipate that this committee is in a hurry to render any decisions.
Meanwhile, a pro-separation petition is still gathering signatures as its legitimacy is being assessed in the courts. One expert speculates the premier is doing all she can to avoid the topic coming up in an official capacity before the session is done.
And it looks like Danielle Smith might be wanting to avoid a vote in the legislature. That would expose the separatists in her caucus.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
A local organization is marking 25 years of helping people with intellectual disabilities find jobs. What starts off as a foot in the door turns into full-time careers for many. With that comes new skills, pride, and a paycheck. CTV's Nirman Issa reports.
A little extra security for this package as Peter Lee gets ready to send out some mail. Lee is an administration assistant at NFP, an insurance broker.
I'm mainly taking care of mail and also courier mail from all the other insurance provider.
Lee has been with the company for 10 years. The 34-year-old started off as a part-time employee, working his way into full-time status.
His value goes far beyond what he's actually doing in terms of his role, but the influence he provides others through positivity and consistency and his happiness and joy that he brings to the office is awesome.
Lee got his foot in the door with the help of Inclusion Alberta. The nonprofit organization works with individuals with intellectual disabilities. It teamed up with the Rotary Club 25 years ago to help provide employment opportunities.
The unemployment rate for people with intellectual disabilities is close to 80%. Since the beginning of the partnership, we have now created over 960 jobs, real jobs for real pay.
Inclusion Alberta currently works with 165 companies across the province.
Jobs absolutely change an individual's life. Companies will tell you the impact it has on the company, but this is life-changing for a family.
Lee's mother says the job has given her son his independence.
He lives a normal life like everyone else. He has income and his own finance. And he's part of a social circle now, making friends.
Lee has earned himself rave reviews at work. However, there are moments he provides a bit of a distraction.
I chat too much during the day.
Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Edmonton Oilers were on the ice this morning to prepare for tomorrow night's battle against Vancouver, their final game of the regular season. The Oilers have clinched a playoff spot, but their finishing placement and playoff opponent depend on the result. Edmonton could play Anaheim, Utah, LA, or Colorado in the first round. Returning to the lineup just in time for the playoffs, forward Zach Hyman is skating on the first line with Connor McDavid.
It's not something that I was just kind of sitting out. It was taking care of something and making sure that you're able to contribute at the level that you need to in order to make sure that the team has success. And at that, in the playoffs, I play a little bit more physical, obviously. So, got to make sure that I'm ready to play at that level.
The Oilers and Canucks face off at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Reservations open today for the Parks Canada shuttle bus in Lake Louise. Parks Canada says last year, 75% of vehicles trying to access Upper Lake Louise were turned away because a parking lot was full. It says the best way to access Lake Louise and Moraine Lake during the height of tourist season is through its shuttle program. 40% of the seats for this summer's bookings were released today. The remaining 60% are released on a rolling basis at 8 a.m. 2 days before departure date. And Sunwing Vacations and WestJet Vacations are suspending operations in Cuba as the island grapples with severe fuel shortages. Political pressure from the White House has severed Cuba from its main fuel sources in Venezuela and Mexico. Gasoline and diesel have become increasingly scarce in the island nation. The company says the cancellations will affect bookings from June 20th through October 9th. Anyone who scheduled a Sunwing or WestJet vacation to Cuba between now and October 31st will be contacted about alternative options. Coming up next, what the Coalition of Alberta Public Libraries is saying about new legislation. And also just ahead, why more people are turning to thrifting.
They come here because it's a good deal. We do 40 to 80% below retail value.
Good evening, folks. Chilly and snowy today. We're done with the snow tomorrow. It is going to stay well below average, though. That changes late this week. Big warm-up on the way for the weekend. I'll show you just how much of a temperature climb we're in for in just a few minutes.
The Coalition of Alberta Public Libraries says new legislation around how libraries operate is addressing a problem that never existed. The legislation would regulate how children access material containing sexually explicit images. It would also allow the province to respond to complaints about libraries. The coalition steering director says libraries were never consulted about these rules. He says he doesn't know whether the province got the idea children were able to easily access these materials in the first place. He also says Alberta's current model for public libraries was set up specifically to prevent government involvement.
This would be an unprecedented model in a system which was set up to specifically keep politics and top-down control out of public libraries. So again, libraries would be transparent, they would be unbiased, and that they would serve all Albertans equally.
He says the changes could create privacy concerns as well as put strain on a system already struggling financially. As costs rise, it seems so to do the efforts of Albertans trying to save money. A new survey indicates more Albertans are embracing thrift shopping as life gets more expensive. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg explains why the benefits can go beyond the bargains.
Oh, it's a treasure hunt in here. That's what I like.
Thrifting can turn up unique and vintage items, but these days it's often the deals attracting more shoppers.
And I'm on a fixed income, so, because I'm retired, so it does help.
New national survey data from the nonprofit chain Restore shows rising costs are increasing interest in thrifted furniture and renovation materials, with 83% of Albertans saying thrifting makes economic sense given the current cost of living in Canada.
International conditions now, it's really expensive. We're just looking. I see paint over there. We often pick up paint for small projects at a reasonable price. That's why we thrift.
We've been in Canada for 35 years, so it's amazing to us that we're still getting first-timers into the store, and those first-timers are discovering how much more they can stretch their dollar by going to the Restore first.
This Calgary location has seen about 10% more customers this year than last year.
They come here because it's a good deal. We do 40 to 80% below retail value. We don't charge GST, so that's a huge savings.
Restores are open to the public and offer items to finish and furnish homes, from brand new excess supplies to second-hand furniture and refurbished appliances. The savings make a big impact for families and small businesses dealing with shrinking margins.
Absolutely huge for me, and especially just look at the cost of gas and everything right now. That's huge being a self-contractor, right, where I don't get the extras that a lot of these bigger businesses do.
And cost isn't the only reason shoppers are embracing thrifting.
We're into recycling a lot, my wife and I, so if we try to get something used, it's better instead of throwing it out, and the money goes to, helping people out too.
All the proceeds from Calgary stores help fund local Habitat for Humanity home building projects.
You're supporting your own community.
Since 1990, over 400 Southern Alberta families have received homes. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
A school west of Edmonton on the brink of closing has been saved. The Gand Yellowhead Public School Division Board voted to keep the Fulham Community School open. The school is located between Edson and Whitecourt. It was recommended the school close because of operational and financial reasons. The school's enrollment dropped below the provincial threshold of 35 students, meaning it would lose nearly $500,000 in grant funding. The vote was 5-2 in favor of keeping the school open. 5 plants set a new standard for world-class quality at the Orchid Fair in St. Albert last weekend.
The quality awards to orchids going back to the 1800s. And so we can look up on our laptop what a particular species or a particular hybrid should look like or might look like, and what is a good one. And so what we do when we go around the show, we look for plants that are as good or better than what we've ever seen before.
Orchids were awarded based on size, color, shape, arrangement, and how many flowers are on the stem. It was the first time the Orchid Show in Edmonton has been judged by Canadians instead of by the American Orchid Society. After the break, how BC researchers are finding ways to make fruit last longer.
So we have tested apples, apple slice, and grapes, and we are also working on other types of the fresh produce like strawberry.
Thursday on Your Morning, how gardening helps your mental and physical health, plus Gen Z, millennials, and baby boomers have very different investment strategies, how each generation can make the most of their money.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. 10 degrees is the average daytime high for the middle of April. Today, daytime high +1, and that came in early this morning. Most of this afternoon, we were in the -5, -6 range here in the city. We'll get back to around 0 tomorrow, and then the warm-up really starts to kick in. Snowfall warning to the south. Red Deer, you're under the snowfall warning. I don't think you're going to get anywhere near as much snow as areas off to the south and east. Look at this spot here. Could see a good 20 to 30 centimeters of snow. Calgary gets some heavy snow as well. See that system just kind of spinning its way off to the east-northeast. Here in Edmonton, cloudy to start. We'll see some sunny breaks late tomorrow afternoon and a little bit of clearing as well into the evening hours tomorrow. -10 to start the day. It'll be about -17 in Fort McMurray, though. -9 for Red Deer. Grand Prairie, -10 in the morning. You're back to about 3 or 4 degrees above 0 tomorrow afternoon. 3 in Fort McMurray, but Cold Lake, Vegreville, man, this Bonnyville, St. Paul region got smoked with snow. Good 10 to 20 centimeters worth of snow. So temperatures will stay below 0 tomorrow, but I think you're done with the snow. Snow will continue in through the Lloydminster region at -5, -3 in Red Deer. A lot warmer in Jasper, up to 7 for a daytime high. We'll hit 7 on Friday. Tomorrow, though, 0 and mostly cloudy skies. -10s Thursday and Friday mornings. It will stay cold through the morning on Friday, but a nice little change in the afternoon. Double digits and sunshine on Saturday, and then in the 15 to 20 degree range for daytime highs Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. And we're done with the snow, at least for a while. After tomorrow, as things warm up, next best chance for precipitation will be rain Wednesday night into Thursday of next week. That is your forecast.
A team of UBC researchers has created a new way to wash fresh fruit that would make it safer to eat and last longer. As CTV's Shannon Patterson reports, they hope to bring their product to market.
Most people rinse their fresh fruit with tap water, but UBC researchers have developed a solution that can wash away pesticide residue and keep produce fresher longer.
I'm interested in doing this project because I want to extend the shelf life of fresh produce because they are very easy to spoil.
At room temperature, grapes last about a week.
Our solutions, they can keep the grapes fresh for more than 2 weeks at room temperature.
The solution is made of starch, tannic acid, and iron.
So we have tested apples, apple slice, and grapes, and we are also working on other types of the fresh produce like strawberry, blueberries.
To test its effectiveness, students use a laser that measures pesticide on the fruit's surface. They found washing with water removes about 40% of that residue, and rinsing with their solution removes nearly 90%.
Our solutions, they can actually interact or bond with the pesticides. So during the washing solutions, they can lift them off from the surface, so they will have a better washing efficiencies.
Our aim is to make the food more safety for people to eat. And I find it's really interesting, and it makes our healthier and makes the world better.
There are fruit washes on the market that remove pesticides and others that keep produce fresh, but the researchers believe theirs is the first to do both at a cost of about 3 cents per apple.
We are trying to further reduce the price and make a large batch of the productions, and in the future we hope to commercialize these washing solutions that can help to improve food safety and qualities.
For the students who worked on this first of its kind fruit wash,
I think it's quite exciting to see my product being used by the consumer or the industry in real life. I create something useful for people. That would be awesome.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
A family in Richmond, BC got a triple surprise in their own backyard. After noticing a river otter regularly visiting their shed, the homeowners called a wildlife removal company. Technicians found a hidden den with 3-week-old pups inside. The trio was put in a heated box nearby, allowing mom to retrieve them, and the shed is now covered in screening. Calgary's mayor has fulfilled his end of the bargain in a water-saving challenge.
Welcome.
Calgary radio host Tyler Middleton challenged Jeremy Farkas to take a shower with him if Calgarians kept water below 500 million litres per day for 7 days in a row, while the Bear Spa feeder main was shut off. Well, Calgarians did it, and the mayor agreed to take the shower. Tyler wore swim trunks while Farkas wore a full suit. And that's our show for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good night.